Welcome to the Band Shop Podcast, Season 2, Episode 4. We're here with Controvert, or as we like to call him, Contro-Turd.
Hey.
I wonder why that is.
We started calling you guys that like early
It's
on.
been
Started that a long time ago.
It's been so much shit. It's been Controvert, Contra-Turd.
Yeah, that's what the GM, like the Gmail
Contro-Turd.
Oh, you guys remember Controgasm? That was
Controgasm, Contra-Dick,
Contradict.
Contra-Cock,
or the ice
Contra-Fuck,
cream line,
Contra-Fuck,
Contro-Cream.
Contro-Cream.
I like Contro-Cream. You guys need to make
I'm
a shirt.
trying to get my
Make a
ice
shirt
cream
with-
line off the ground.
Contra-Cream.
Oh, we're gonna do a confectionery business, Contra Bakes.
What was the, there was one with the gym or something. There was a gym idea.
Oh yeah,
that
that's
was his
Mosh
idea.
Fit.
Yeah,
That
Mosh
was not a
Pit.
Controvert thing, but it's a, yeah. We just need Trevor on a shirt, like going like this and holding cream. Contro-Cream.
Yes.
You've heard of
Album
ice
cover.
cream. Now we
Yes.
bring you Contro-Cream.
It's
Contra-Cream
filled with
EP.
creatine
And then they buy the
whey.
merch because Trevor and... So what's up, guys?
Oh, you know.
You're looking
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Big chillin', man.
Big
slumping.
chillin'.
Big chillin'.
Big boolin'.
I am here.
So,
Well,
last
let's-
I knew, we were setting up like, so who's churning what and when for this Contra Cream.
So I want it to be a caramel swirl, but the caramel has a special little ingredient from all of you. And
Special.
we swirl the caramel in,
Has
makes
all
it the
of our cream in it?
Contro-Cream,
And then the salt
and then
other
people
things.
feel like they're really a part of the band and
You
or
mean-
salt
So
of the
we're doing
earth.
this
You mean
kinda
like
what
a
Kiss did
white
back in
chocolate
Blood and
caramel?
Yeah, except
There
instead of
better
blood,
be
it's
some
semen.
serious payment if I'm
Yeah,
putting
no,
my
one of the
seed in
flavors
this
is
I mean,
ice
salt
cream.
of the
if there's
earth.
semen in there, there's
Oh.
probably going to be a little bit of blood.
Do you
Let's-
put them on
let's see.
crackers?
That's true.
One
Take
of
it
the
as
flavors is
communion?
going to be called salt of the earth.
Contramunion?
We're getting
Contra-munion.
into like protein shake territory
Okay.
here.
The
with this. It's
Christ
gonna be hardy.
spread.
It's gonna be a little chunky, man.
So what the
Little
fuck have you
chunky.
guys been up to? What's been going on?
Finally getting ready to play different songs other than the same ones we've been playing
Thank
forever.
God those
New
suck.
stuff.
Lord.
Yeah, we are in the process of writing new material.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've been playing a lot of shows up to COVID. Then COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of things, and then we were able to start playing like a month and a half ago.
I feel like the
Ooh.
lineup changes played a big effect too.
Yeah, I mean
So-
we've went through a drummer, and
Too.
yeah, and then a bass player. So there's a lot of challenges in that, but I think now we are a powerhouse.
So take us through the lineup now and kind of like introduce us to the new lineup.
Okay, well we have Tim Neff on bass,
Okay.
And the sampling.
me
The
on
techno.
guitar, which I'm not gonna
And
say
the
rhythm or
techno.
lead because it's all the same. Brandon Stovall on drums now. Trevor, Ballast, right?
Yeah, ballast.
I still
Okay.
say bolus.
I know, I
Oh.
do too.
It's ballast?
It's
I'll
ballast.
accept either,
And then, of
I'll
course,
but
accept either.
Chris
Yeah.
Isaac's still on vocals. So basically, the OGs at this point are me and Chris.
Okay.
Everybody else is still relevantly new.
So how's the lineup feel now?
Probably the most solid.
It sounds
Um,
really solid.
It's-
Sounds like y'all been playing together a long time.
It's thick with 3 C's.
Dummy thick.
with not just 2, not just 1, 3.
We have thrice C's.
Yeah.
Hear
I
that?
have asked
You hear
you
that,
thrice
Joey? You
for
need
a
to add that
towel.
in post over the edit. Thick.
Yes, there better be.
Chris won't be a part of this if there's no thickness.
No, it has
I mean,
to be
I'm
all
out too.
thickness.
I mean, there
Th-
has to be some girth, otherwise
Down
it
with the
doesn't count.
thickness, of
This
course.
band is a BBW
Oh. 110%.
with plenty of girth.
with plenty of
Absolutely.
girth.
Yeah. So what can you guys tell us as far as what's coming out next? Like, what are you guys like? What's in the works? What can we look forward to with you guys?
At least another music video. I know that much. Hopefully an EP by the beginning of the year.
Okay.
But that's kind of in quotations right now.
More focus on writing
Yeah.
and like kind of like locking it in and then like actually having fun with that process rather than just like, okay, there's this thing, we do it, do this thing, this do it, like going through and like Brandon and I have done things where like even like, hey, that was a cool riff, but like let's put it in swing time and see if it sounds better.
Definitely
that
a
way.
lot of experimentation and a different outlook when it comes to the level and placement of the heaviness of the band is
All
going
right.
to be different for the new record. I can tell you that much.
Well, I was gonna ask, yeah, as far as like the writing process now, I know, especially with this lineup, is different than it had been before, because I know before it was primarily focused on 1 or 2 people writing most
It
everything.
was me and Ben.
Yeah.
And then like now it seems like with this lineup there's a lot more group input.
There's going to be a lot more
Like-
input.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
and
because
a lot
everybody's a
more
musician,
ideas.
everybody's a writer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
From
like,
what I've been around and witnessed, it's been cool to watch, because it's like,
when
let's try this, let's
when
try that.
we
Yeah.
first started doing this, like me and Chris primarily wrote. I mean, I wrote the majority, and then Chris put some input and put a couple songs in, and then I messed with them, and then like now it's like me and Brandon jam, like the latest one that we are working on. Like Brandon helped me finish it, and then I bring it to him, and he puts his bass to it, and he writes all of his own stuff now. And then
Hits it with the
I
samples.
give it to Trevor, like the basic riff, and he can tweak that to his style, and then I could write a new part over that, and then Chris does his thing. So like that's at least like how I'm wanting to do it.
We start with something, and then it just evolves.
And it's funny because it's full circle, because like we'll be on the phone with Chris about like the ideas of like the riffs that were even getting written in the first place. So it's like this weird thing where like it's a fun game of telephone.
It really
It's
is.
like-
Yeah.
It's like, all right, smoked out Gaza, click. All right.
Well, I mean, something we should probably clear up too. Like we are all from different areas. So you have Tim that's living in Whitestown. You have me living here in Lafayette. Brandon lives here in Lafayette. Trevor lives in Terre Haute, and Chris lives in Marion, basically, like past Marion a little bit. So like half the band lives, an hour away.
That's a challenge.
So there's a challenge of all of us getting together. So a lot of it has to be done digitally now. Through recording things and sending them to Trevor and Chris, and having them kind of critique it a little bit from home. And then when we all get together, it's like, okay, these are some things that I was coming up with that you could do. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of bouncing back and forth now.
And
Okay.
The fun thing with some of that is I get to be the transcriber.
Yes.
So, I'm the guy that is like actually like writing it down. Like
You write the scrolls.
Yes.
I
Or
write
the
scroll.
Bible.
I write the Bible.
So you guys have been playing King Me, this EP, for a little while. One question I was interested to know, coming away from King Me and looking forward to new writing, what is everybody's favorite song to play off the EP? Like, what song do you feel like you connected with the most, and why? Now that we're kind of closing that chapter a little bit.
I don't know. We'll start with Tim.
So, my favorite song, because I was able to hear the EP before joining the band.
Right.
So as a listener, it's King Me.
Okay.
Just because of like, me coming from a background of Christcore, and like this band really allowing me to express my apostasy from that shit. As a listener, I love that song.
Hell yeah.
However, playing live and doing what I'm doing now on bass, I love Lord Betrayer because it lets me bring out some of that Les Claypool influence.
Very cool.
Hell yeah.
Shit. For me, I don't know. I can't really say. I've been playing these songs for like a year and a half now, so it's like, I don't know. For me, probably King Me all the way around, and then like, yeah, probably just King Me, to be
Right on.
honest. Yeah.
I think I gotta go with Garbage Man.
I figured you'd say that.
Hell yeah.
You know, it took a minute for it to grow on me because it was the last song I learned off the EP when I first started playing with them. But yeah, that one's it goes hard
It's a
live.
slapper.
Yeah, it's really intense
Yeah.
on drums. and
Yeah.
a lot of fun, so I'd go with that one.
Don't do it.
Garbage Man.
Garbage.
Garbage
Yeah.
Man, my dude.
I figured that.
I
probably the
was.
case.
Why'd you have to look me right in the eye?
I was a garbage
Sincere.
lad.
Oh,
My family owns and runs a trash business. So my first job when I was 10 was a garbage man.
are you serious?
I swear to God.
When you were a young warthog.
When he was a young warthog. Oh.
But
I was so
it
happy you came up
also
with
it
that.
also
Yes.
slaps live.
Yeah, oh, it
It does
does.
It
slap
runs
live.
a play.
Okay.
Podcast.
Um,
I don't know.
it just has a lot of drive.
So it's taking
me.
Trevor back to his roots
Yeah.
with his first job.
Yeah.
That's
I hated
cool.
it. And
Trash
it-
Planet.
it-
Trev is the motherfucking garbage. man.
Yeah.
I'm eating all your garbage, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god. New merch alert.
Panda.
Yes.
all your garbage, man.
Okay.
That's the best.
What about you, Chris?
Choker.
That's still my
That's
favorite.
a close
Oh,
second
That's
for
shit.
still
me.
my
That
favorite.
That's
would-
mine.
Damn it.
My
That was
favorite.
gonna be
Never
it.
changed for me. It's
And
always
so
been
that's
Choker.
Finney's favorite.
Choker
Yeah.
because
That
That's
one
my
is
number
fun,
two.
Honestly, that is
Ben
not,
knows that's my favorite.
now that I think about it, for like listening, I'd probably have to agree with him. It'd be King Me, but live, I would definitely have to say Choker because
So
like
why is Choker your
it's
favorite?
the first song we ever had.
Yep.
that is
So it's our
true.
Mr. Brightside.
Basically,
It's a little more
Damn,
I
heavy.
just- I love
Killers
the
had
groove
so
of
many
it.
more good songs.
it is a really good groove.
Damn it, Tim.
What?
The Killers had so many more good songs besides Mr. Brightside.
Somebody
Right, but
told
that
me.
was the
there.
first one they
He
wrote.
doesn't
Yeah.
look a
Oh, F
thing
off.
like
I'm dead. No, I'm dead
Jesus.
serious.
It was Hot Fuse, wasn't it?
It was off that album.
I thought
But
it was
the-
Hot Fuzz.
That's the whole
Or
Whatever.
album.
Confused.
It's
I don't know what
Fuzz.
it
It's
is.
Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
It's Buzz.
Either
yeah.
way,
Whatever.
The record's better than the movie.
Mr.
let's be real.
Brightside was written at the first recording or whatever writing session, and it has been played at every single Killer show,
And Wedding.
except for the hipster weddings that play
Yeah,
Cigaros.
Oh my god.
It's
Oh,
the other side of the spectrum.
damn.
No, thank you.
Well, all right, cool.
We
It's
played-
kind of
We play Minor Threat at our weddings.
Nice.
And
It's-
10-yard fight.
it's kind of like probably emotional in a way to think about how you guys aren't going to be playing that specific set anymore, only because you've played it for so long and there's got to be some sort of connection to it. But it's also got to be like really invigorating to think about writing new material
Well, I mean,
and
see,
getting to go
here's
forward.
the thing. Even though we're moving forward, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have those sets where we say fuck it
Sure.
and still play old stuff. So
Yeah.
it's not like we're going to completely like ixnay the old stuff, you know, like especially going forward, like depending on how many songs we release, you know, there's that chance that when we play live, we still may have a couple of the bangers
right.
that we play live, you know.
Alex's birthday, which is a good friend of ours that we're about to play a birthday show for.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
He
going to be
is-
past by the time this released, but still.
Still, though, that will be the last time that we will play the old set
Yep.
As is.
because we have to.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's crazy because Chris actually just sent that in our group message the other day, and I really like thought about it. I was just like,
There will
like
be
not
tears.
no, like I'm kind of tired of it because I've been playing it for so long, but then it's kind of sad too because it's like not really closing a chapter, but in a sense, kind
moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of, so
So it's all fresh to me because I literally just
Right?
Like,
I'm over here
Jesus
pissed
fucking
off like, I
Christ.
just learned that shit!
Right?
Trevor's
But-
like, you can tell how broke up I am about
But
it.
then Chris
But-
and Ben are
but-
like, yo, we've
Thank
been here
God.
for like 2 years.
the big thing there is like I enjoy playing it. It's still fresh to me, but I am very much looking forward to playing music that I have some say in.
Oh,
and
I
some
bet.
influence in.
Mhm.
And it'll be all a collective. Like, it'll
Exactly.
be your music, all of you guys.
Well,
which is
just
really
the new
cool.
stuff so far. I mean, it's still very much Controvert, but in a sense, it's definitely a step forward. Like, because me coming into the band, I mean, I learned King Me just as they did. So going into writing, we have all these different influences that we learned along the way of learning those songs that are going to be like relevant in the newer material, but it's going to be exciting and different in certain aspects. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I feel like
I feel
I
that.
feel like the top-notch groove levels that we've been talking about are gonna be the huge defining factor of why our new record is gonna sound different compared to the rest of the stuff that we've done so far. Because I feel like it's just a lot more thought process that we're gonna be putting into the structure process of the songs, song length, how they turn out. When we first got together and we wrote, me and Ben were playing guitar together.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even doing vocals. So like
Right.
when we wrote the record, it was just like, well, this is the shit I got, and then this is the shit I got, and then, well, we could do this shit together, but let's keep this shit separate, and then keep that thing separate, but put like one riff from all that bullshit from starting a new band. It's all led up to this moment. It's all led up to this moment right here. where we're talking about doing something because we already know what we want. And when you start a band, a lot of people don't make it past that point.
Yeah, very true.
A lot of people don't make it past that point. They will put out a record, and because it's that invigorating feeling that they have from getting together, and each person has all these built up things that they, put in. But then a lot of times you get like that squeezed orange feeling where it's, where they're just like, well, what do we do now?
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, with this group of people, we're not going through that. We did for a minute, but at this point, we're very close to just like, this is what the fuck we're gonna do.
Right.
Thank
And-
God.
Yeah.
And I feel so excited and more secure with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably different than a lot of people feel when they go into their second record. I don't have any like regret of decision of what we've talked about, what we want to do. None
That's
of it.
good. That's good.
So I feel like, I guess that's where I'm coming from on the situation.
There's
Okay.
definitely no shortage of ideas. I mean, everybody
No.
here is really talented, so
Well, and we're all multi-talented musicians in one way or another. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
claim to
true.
be a
With this
drum
lineup,
player,
you
but I can play
Oh,
drums.
You've got-
absolutely.
People here in this lineup that can do multiple
Well,
different
yeah, and then you have
instruments
like
and-
Chris, that his first instrument was drums.
Yep.
so going into the writing
100%,
process, we
yeah.
bounce ideas off
Very
of each
much
And
other.
then you have
Quality.
Speaking
Tim.
from experience, when I've been in bands doing that with other musicians that are, multi-talented instrumentalists, it helps so much
Oh,
to be
dude,
able to
yeah.
bounce those.
I
kind of
can't
things off.
fucking sing. So
Have you not heard the record? We don't sing.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
I'm
haven't heard the
over
new
here
record,
sounding
though.
like you guys called me Mickey Mouse out there.
Yeah, Tim, sometimes you do be doing some
Yeah.
What?
See, you fuck this place up out there. Get to stepping.
Wumpa fruit.
Okay, so maybe I sound like a Muppet being strangled at 200 miles per hour. Maybe.
that's a vivid image.
Maybe.
It's okay, Bubble Up.
Maybe.
Bubble
Oh, dude,
Lub,
I will
oh
say
my
though, as somebody who has obviously been on the outside of this band since its inception and watching this lineup is awesome. I mean, definitely since Tim came in, because
shit.
the energy level that Tim brought to this
Oh, yeah.
band, like at that
Ungodly.
time, you guys were going through your stuff at the time, and it was kind of like you were saying, you were kind of in that rut for a little bit, kind of like, what are we doing? Where are we going? Tim comes in, and it was just like this shot in the arm you guys needed. And all of a sudden, it was like, there's the old Controvert again. There's like the energy. There's like the craziness. And Tim was just like, fuck this, throwing guitars around.
Tim
I'm going to
was the
scream.
Bic.
I'm going to make noise. I don't give a shit. I'm going to do
Tim
whatever
was
I
the
feel.
Bic.
It took
Yeah.
me
That was the,
forever to get him to do something.
The day that Tim came out was a very special day.
The day Tim came out,
It
I
was a
was like,
special day.
holy shit, he actually came.
And then you came.
Yeah.
Well, the
And
thing
then
is that
everybody followed suit.
I was like 5 hours late.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was
you
like,
were
hey
late.
man, you coming out today? I'm like, yeah man, I just got to set up my pedal board.
5
Which
hours
still
later.
Yeah, we know
happens
with you,
today.
that's, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and playing shows, there's so many times people are like, you play bass, what the fuck?
Yeah,
it's
but
more
looking at
than
his pedal
that.
board, you wouldn't think he plays bass. You would think he plays guitar. Like straight up.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, he's doing more than that. I mean, you're
I-
running
Oh,
all
yeah.
the samples
I
and all
definitely
the...
think one of the things I've
And
heard the
background
most
vocals.
after sets since Tim has joined, and I'm not just talking like people coming up to me, I'm talking things because I'm always listening after shows for banter and comments, so I can run and be like, this is what
Cut
we
a
said.
bitch. So
But
you
no,
cut a
oh
bitch.
yeah, just gutted. But no, one of the common thread things I've heard since Tim has joined is a variation of this. Holy fuck, their bass player like plays with his fingers, and he like does a bunch of shit, and he
Yeah.
doesn't just bunka bunka, but he's like and does all this crazy shit. Like people are always talking about Tim. After the set, they're like mind blown over the bass upgrade, like the sound. And that's really cool because obviously that will eventually even out to, oh my God, this or this or this with different musicians in the band. But it's always cool when you hear people talking about that because bass is overlooked a lot of times.
What-
I
I feel like it's also super awesome, though, that we now have the ability for strings in general to, like, get the sound that was on the record.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh,
this whole
yeah.
entire time, people have been seeing Controvert until before Trevor and Tim came in. They were seeing a one guitar side
Yeah.
of Controvert compared to the record. I mean, me and Ben played a lot more guitar than I did on the record, but I played guitar on the record too, and
Yeah.
I had to because like the songs. I'm not gonna get mixed up about it. It was both me and Ben on the guitar in the first place, so I had to do that. But now, like, because we have two guitarists that actually work good together, you can hear the exact sound that was supposed to be on the record, and I'm really happy now that we get to continue that
Oh yeah.
because I don't want to change our tone at all.
Nope.
Like I think it's something that we have worked so hard to get, and now we finally have it.
It's growing on me.
Well, and
He's sitting there like
on the
"Fuck this."
record, if kind of behind the scenes, there's like 3 different guitar tracks, and then you have all the accessory guitar tracks that Chris put on too.
Yep.
So it's like, it's nice to have those noises
We
in
did-
the actual live set too.
Well, and if I remember right, we actually did 4 takes. Because
Yeah.
I did one on the lead and one on the rhythm with one guitar and one pedal. And then I switched to my other guitar and the other pedal and did another 2, like one on the rhythm and one on the lead. And then we like took them and like split them.
Yeah.
And dude, that was such a pain in the ass because
I'm sorry.
behind the scenes, there's no click track to any of that.
No.
So like to be able to punch in to do that stuff without a click track, just to let everybody know, is a pain in the ass.
I
Well
was fun to
worth
learn.
it,
I'm sorry.
but fuck was it hard.
oh,
Like,
everybody knows that all that was my fault.
oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows that all that was my fault. I was the one that was like, no, this the fucking shit in the fucking record. You gotta be like that or fuck it. Like that's literally
oh my
what
God,
I was like.
The accuracy.
Yeah, that's
of
pretty accurate.
the accuracy.
I'm getting like PTSD flashbacks here. Like,
Yeah,
I'm over
there
here
were
like,
moments-
is this like verbatim?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
is
pretty
this-
much. Yeah.
no, there was
pretty much.
Verbiage, everything.
Gotta
I
stay
was
true to
such a
life.
dick when it came to like all of this shit that I was like, if there's not 6 mics.
The only person Chris was happy with was me, and that's because I showed up with food.
No, but
and
seriously,
then he was back to being
for the,
like,
the recording of the
record.
guitars, we had 2 mics on the cab, and then we had a room mic. We had,
We had
3
2 room mics.
We had 3 fucking mics going because we did have a room mic too.
We
Oh, you
2
had
room
4?
mics. Yeah, I had 2 room mics going.
Oh, so we had 2 room mics and 2 mics on the cab for all of it.
That explains why you can't like understand like where the hell it's coming from.
Yeah, because
Like-
it's just all there.
Like even listen to the isolated, and it's like they're all coming at me.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
All
what we wanted, though.
sides!
We wanted it like in your face, but
In your
Organic.
ears too.
as well.
I wanted
like-
to, I wanted to get the most organic sound of like, okay, this is what it sounds like when you're standing in front of the amp, no matter where you walk. Like this is what it sounds like when you're standing
you
in
got
front of
it.
the amp. And
Yeah,
no
because you made
shit.
it sound like you had like that, not just like standing in front of the amp, like you're walking around with the fucking cab like a boombox.
like instead of a rain cloud over you, it's an amp over
Yeah,
you.
it is
Yeah.
like, oh,
Look,
in this world, I'm nothing but filth.
Walking to
Hearing
school
loss.
with your amp on
Hearing
your
loss.
shoulder.
hearing loss.
Well,
Look, here's the deal. I just was listening to a lot of just interesting recordings, like Russian circles and stuff like that, and stuff from the 70s where they were just like, we're just going to put a shit ton of mics in this room and experiment with how it makes it sound. That's why I did all of that shit. So, with the next record, we're definitely going to take a more conventional moment and probably mic a little different. Tim. But no,
the whole thing
seriously.
was cool. It was just like when you guys sent it to me, and you're like, all right, here are the guitar tracks. Like I thought, like I was getting just one.
well, see, 2, you
But
also
I got like a part of a military.
he got like the unfully mixed stuff too. So like he had like our versions like before they were fully like mixed and mastered like they are in the EP that's out on like all the streaming platforms. So like he has the more raw versions of them because like we had Finney like pull back certain things so he could hear other things more predominantly. So
feel
like he had the ones that was just like everything was there too. So it's like fuck. I can only imagine. I didn't have to do that course because I wrote the stuff, so I didn't
Yeah,
have to
fuck
learn
you.
to that. So
Well, I feel like
I'm
this time
lucky.
it's going to be a lot different because we're definitely gonna go with maybe some reamping
Oh,
this
dude.
time.
Yeah, no, definitely reamping. I'm not doing
Yes.
fucking 4 guitar tracks or even just 2 and have him do 2.
But,
No
yeah.
way. Yeah, Benny's showing the blue box that he bought just
Yeah.
for that
So
that we never used.
aside from like recording and moving into more of like the topic of shows, and I know Brandon and Trevor haven't played as many shows as the rest of you, so like it's kind of an interesting question, but what is everybody's like, what is one memory that stands out to you the most playing shows with the band at any part of the lineup?
I will go last.
Yeah, that's cool.
We'll
Just
start with
like
Tim
kind of
again.
like a standout moment live.
I'm not gonna lie, I was shitting myself when I looked up at Fried Fest and I saw a trash can being thrown.
That was fucking
Space
sick.
can? Oh, space can.
I just like turned around and like just like a fucking beach ball. Like
I'm pretty sure it was John Bennett that
It
chucked
was.
it first.
it
yeah.
was like a
No,
30-gallon
King Cobra.
Uline.
I'm pretty sure somebody else
It was
chucked it.
It was Alex.
Yeah, I'm pretty
It
sure.
was Alex, and,
and
then
then John
Damon caught
grabbed
it and
it.
kicked it and like punted it
But
in
there-
the air.
It, like the whole video, like it goes around like a beach ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Okay, so trash
Absolute-
can.
yeah.
moment.
And there was
Yeah.
also a
Fried
guy
Fest.
at that same show where he picked up a dildo and unicorn suction cupped it to his bald head and attempted to mosh with it like a dildo unicorn.
That's great.
Isn't that the guy that ate shit on the gravel?
Yes.
Okay.
Not actual shit, like figure of speech.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that
That's
was
a good
the-
moment,
that
though.
was
I'm
the
glad that
same
was caught on video because I couldn't believe it was happening as it was happening.
Yeah, we got the first injury in the pit of Ride Fest that year.
Wait, that's when it happened while he had the dildo on his head?
I don't know when that
Oh.
happened, Tim. I'm just saying it was the same person. I wasn't paying that much attention. I was too busy going rub-a-dub.
Rubber dub. Now for me, I have like a twofer because like I'm gonna go with like
Been
my
over the
overall and then go with like this lineup because I think that's only fair. For me,
He always has.
I think that like Fried Fest last year was probably like my favorite overall because like DJ just came in at that point and like we were really fucking solid. And then for like this lineup, I would probably have to go with probably Fried again. I think like Fried Fest is just really good for us in general because like it was just good.
What about like with
Oh, well, you wanted
this
to play
lineup
Fried.
though?
Fuck, what was your first show?
Mashawaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't play
Yeah.
Friday.
I doesn't
but
say you
it
didn't
was
play. You were going to. I
it was
thought
definitely
we had talked
So
about
what?
it. But you
Yeah.
ended up not. That's
So
right.
what was
so
your
it'd probably be
favorite?
Mashawaka then, yeah, because that was a banger
Yeah.
of a fucking show.
He
Oh.
killed it that first show.
He
Oh my
did.
I
god.
too.
was so sick. That
He almost
day.
killed himself falling into that stage.
Oh yeah.
It was
Oh
a
no,
hole in the
Brandon's like,
stage.
yeah, and we're leading into my favorite moment. Fix the stage.
Oh
Fix the
shit.
stage.
I don't even know, man. I'd probably go with Colt Fest
Hellfest was a banger.
just from the atmosphere. It was the first show with Trevor, so it just had that extra beef. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It just hit extra hard, and I don't know. It was just wild. It kept me on my toes every show. I played
Literally,
with
you were
this
like
band.
chasing your kick drum at one point, weren't you?
Yeah.
It was like running away from you.
Yeah,
It
the kick
totally
drum's
was.
leg came off because Ben was going hard. You know what I
Ben face
mean?
planted into the drum set. at
Yeah.
Sorry,
he
Finney,
just
I love
barreled
you.
into me, and I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck just happened?" And then before I know it, I'm just sitting there trying to finish the song. There goes the drum, you know, just bouncing away.
Brandon
and I
was
didn't
the real
realize
MVP,
it.
still being able to play those songs.
I was trying, man, but yeah, like I said, it's just been every show is just something unexpected, something wild, but it's always just as much fun.
Oh,
Hell
dude,
yeah.
So it's really hard to pick a spot, but I'd say Colt Fest overall.
Hell yeah.
I mean, for me, I've only played one show, Cold Fest.
2 now, technically, kind of, if you consider this
Yeah, yeah.
the session we
Um,
just did.
But with Colt Fest, it was pretty eventful. So yeah, Ben dove head first into the drum set.
And
I'm
yes,
just gonna
there is
start
video
wearing a
footage.
helmet, dude. Like every show, they're just taking me out.
Brandon was literally chasing the kick drum the whole time because it was going away from him.
Of course, then we had wireless problems with you.
Yeah, I had rig shortage, like it was shorting
I would
out
say
and
you
shit.
had a bad luck spree with that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I should have just plugged in from the get go.
Yeah. That
and
was,
then
that was our
Live and
fault,
learn. Live and learn.
actually.
And
we
then
we set that up and didn't test it. so-
getting
Oops.
like slightly erect when I watched Tim throw his bass up into
Oh,
the air.
Three
yeah.
times in a row and not
Um,
miss a note.
Yeah,
Let's-
other than when it was
He
in
tends
the
to
air.
do
Let's
that.
thank
Well, yeah.
Christ Core as Cities Burned for that moment.
Yeah, I totally
Um,
ripped off Pascal.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, oh yeah.
That was a dope moment for sure.
But like that, there's so many things about that show that stood out to me, and I mean it was big for me because it was my first show with these
Mhm.
guys. So I'll
And a hell of
never
one at
forget
that.
that one.
Hell yeah,
And it's also something with all of us to build off of too.
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm scared of this one.
Ohio.
Oh fuck! Which one?
Oh,
Which one?
fuck. Ohio.
Oh,
Your
fuck.
first show or
No,
Keopalooza?
no. Keopalooza.
Oh shit! I
When we
forgot about
played
that one.
upstairs at the fucking yacht club.
That was a sweaty hot
There
box.
is no other fucking comparison to the best show that Controvert has ever had so far. Ohio takes the cake because I totally saw some guy get axe kicked in the forehead during our set.
Well, yeah, and the thing about that too is like we're not from there. We didn't even have the EP released at that
No.
time. So the people were going just purely off energy, and like to go somewhere you've never played before and have people like hurting people to your shit, it's kind of like a sense of accomplishment of like, holy fuck, I'm like 3 hours away from home and these people are
Well, and then
beating
you
each
had
other.
Why are we
Alex
so
and Fo-
sick?
You had
I don't know.
Like, oh my
When
god!
people were fighting each other, it was the best.
So the room was
Yes.
packed, and when I say a sweaty hot box, I do mean like you're slipping on people's
Yeah,
sweat.
it was
Oh, yeah.
People are pitting like crazy, and then you look in the back at the emergency exit, and there's Felipe and Alex from Luca. They couldn't even get in the room; they're just like standing outside the door,
Because
waving,
it was like as soon as
flashing their nipples.
it was like as soon as the music started, it was like everybody in the room was like, "Holy fuck!" And
Like
then
Moths to
yeah,
Flames?
Yeah. Like sure. That's a really bad band.
I know, but for the reference, for the pun.
Okay, sorry. I guess I just got distracted at how bad that band is.
I'm sitting there like, oh, they played too?
No.
No, thank God.
Yeah,
no.
they
How is
headlined.
Chris?
Oh, shit. You would know people.
Those are some
in that
good live
band.
moments, though. Those are some good ones.
They are.
Hell yeah. Y'all have had some. Can we just talk about the Controvert Carnage? Good lord.
What?
You guys
What
have
version
had,
of it?
Contra
Carnage.
You guys have had so many injuries in your pits. I've seen a nose broken. I've seen a tooth. Remember when that person brought their tooth up to us after
I've
the show?
Absolutely.
smacked two
I need-
people's hands with my headstock. I've smacked somebody's
are
head
you
with my
doing?
headstock.
There's been so many
Catholic
times I just look up and Benny is in the middle of the fucking pit,
Just
like just
slither.
playing the shit still, going hard.
You leaving? Okay, so you're gonna come back and say bye? Okay.
Yeah. Now that he's gone,
The party
Jesus.
starts.
Can we just talk about? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Let's all say one nice thing about Chris while he's gone. It'll be a treat. Be a treat for him when he watches it. Quickly.
Nice circ, dude.
What was that?
Did you say nice circ? Is that really what you just said right now? I mean, I don't know about
That's
that.
the opener, dude.
Come on, Sergio. What did
Run
you
it
say?
down.
Nice circ, dude.
I don't even know anything.
Chris, you're a
nice to
gentleman and a
say.
scholar.
Oh,
He's a very warm and welcoming guy. To be like, and he really is. Like he came
Yeah.
right up to me at Colt Fest and made me feel super comfortable. And
he can do
It was
that.
a Dwight shirt. He felt like he could.
we just kind of like
It's
we just kind of
Dwight
we
shirt.
kind of clicked right off the bat
Hell
a little
yeah.
bit. So it was really cool for me.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that contagious energy, dude. When we play live, honestly, like Chris gets my shit fucking going,
Mm.
dude. He gets
It's the stage
adrenaline
show for me.
pumping.
I would have to agree. And
Like
his
he'll come up to
vocals
the
are
fucking kit and just
wicked.
look at me, start backing up like he's about to pop off with some shit. I'm like, okay, all right, let's go.
Mhm.
I mean,
know what I
usually,
mean?
let's be real, he does pop off with some shit.
Oh
so.
yeah, I know what time it is when he comes up to the kit and we make that eye contact. It's like, you ready? Yeah, I'm fucking ready. Let's go. You know.
Hell yeah.
No, I really do enjoy the fact that like with him and with of course like everyone. Well, sorry Joe, sorry person off camera that I'm referencing now. I broke the fourth wall. But in this and like being able to have real conversations with Chris some really really tough like parts of us that like we've had to grow from and still like learning to grow from, and like you and I've had those like
I feel like we all have.
yeah, like we've all been able to take time for like actually looking out and like loving each other as friends.
Contra fam.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Contra
is the
fam.
Contra fam. Yeah.
Well, see, the rough thing is too, when you have like a unit that's like a family already, and then you like lose people and bring people in, especially when you're like a moving train like we were, it kind of makes things hard. And like I kind of feel bad for like these two, especially not much so much for him, but just
Thanks.
well, just
Fuck
like,
this guy.
well, like you've had a lot of intimate, like Chris, you've known Chris for a long time.
That's-
I've known Chris for a
yeah.
long time, so like us three, as in like me, Tim, and Chris, understand each other, but these two don't know Chris very well, or Tim very well, or even like each other very well. So we haven't had a chance to really have that personal time. But with taking time off from playing shows now, like with the writing process, we can actually establish that. So
Yeah.
like it's real nice, especially as of like this week and like last week and stuff. Like things have gotten way tighter because of us being able to step back and be like,
right.
things were really stressful because we had stuff lined up when he came in.
Dude, coming
Yeah.
into it was go, go, go.
It
Yeah,
was
I mean,
nothing. It was nonstop.
even
Just
like-
even like
You guys
before, like I was here when Tim auditioned. DJ was still playing drums. At that point, I was a fill-in type deal.
Yeah.
So I'm over there with Zach's E-Kit set up, watching DJ, just kind of doing my thing, trying to learn his shit. And, coming from that and just seeing it now.
It's wild.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
a
we
whole
blinked though,
different
and like it
beast.
was here.
Yeah.
That's just 2020 for you though.
I mean,
Totally
like,
is.
I literally I learned the set
In 2
in
weeks?
about
Without a vocalist.
like in total in about 8 or 9 days,
Literally.
and came to Colt Fest and
Yep.
played with
Yeah.
like I had jammed with these guys like 2 times.
That's because you're
And
a
I
fucking
never-
pro.
Yeah, no. Which
Just
I
like
just
this
now
one.
realized, like earlier when it's like we're like say something nice about Chris. He's like, when I met Chris at Colt Fest, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah, he
probably
hadn't
really
even-
I had
confusing.
He
never
hadn't-
played with Chris
yeah.
He's-
ever.
We got it. So yeah, we were not.
shit.
ju-
Shit, no.
hey.
It's Return of the
Right.
Big Cirque Nice
We
Bro.
weren't just saying nice things about you. Oh, actually, you'll be surprised when you watch the episode then.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, coming into it, man, it was just show. Like every week, every other week, there's something going on. So we haven't really had time to just kind of chill out and fucking really get down on the new shit together and just, vibe with each other, learn from each other, Like he said, a lot of us don't know each other to the extent that these three do.
Yeah.
Coming into it. So that's been a growing process as it is.
But then it's kind of cool though because like you and Ben have known each other.
Yes.
Ben and
Yeah.
Trevor have known
Yeah.
each
Yeah.
other.
Ben
And
is
so
really my
it's like,
plug into the band.
You
You,
guys,
know what I
you
mean?
have all those connections, but it's not all the way around yet. But I love you. I appreciate you.
Everybody say bye to
Word.
Chris.
You guys do have that full circle where it's coming, where it will all kind of
Hey,
connect,
homie.
I love
which
you.
is dope.
Be safe.
Text us when you get home.
Yes.
Say
Yeah,
goodbye
you
to
know the
Hey
rules.
Chris, look in
Hey.
the camera. Say goodbye to all the people that are.
Bob
Text.
Poppers.
Text when you're home. though.
Bye, love you.
Bye, guys.
honey.
And then now that Chris is gone, I'm gonna steal the hot seat because it's real stuffy up on
Dude,
this
I'm
couch.
telling you, bro.
Brandon's like, get the hell out of my armpit.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Hit the throne.
I'm gonna hit the throne.
Hit the throne. Oh,
You have to say
Tim
the
has
motto
2
when you sit down,
microphones.
shit.
though. Why don't you motherfuckers?
I've been fucking comfy the whole time.
And Chris didn't say that word at
Yeah,
all.
I know he didn't. Oh God, I
I'm
feel
just
so
happy
much
to be
better right
here.
now. You can shut that mic off.
Pink.
Yeah. Oh yes. See, I wanted it this way to begin with, but Chris was,
No,
very adamant
we're too
about.
far
That,
away
that was
from
that
each
was
other.
such
No.
a dad
It's really
move,
weird.
the way he got into that chair.
Cushion to
I
myself.
am a
It's like,
dad.
Doubled up here, just
Like,
like, hey, how we doing?
Because he
Yeah,
is a
dude.
dad.
Yeah.
Making all those fucking dad
you feel like
noises
you're
and
going
everything.
skiing.
I feel like I'm talking into
I'm
a bunch
old.
of robot.
That's what I'm saying. Going skiing.
I'm literally doubled up right now, dude. Like,
Oh shit.
Doubled up.
Yeah,
doubled up.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Brandon's gonna do a casting couch.
Oh God.
I thought we were done with the casting couch thing, bro.
Coming
don't
at you
think so.
live from the band shop.
Trevor's like, I know
Oh.
exactly what time it is. Trevor's like, I'm wearing the pants and the boots for this
I'm about to
shit.
say, out of everybody here, he looks like he's the most dressed for the occasion.
Trevor is
Yeah.
always dressed. Like, Trevor's
has that
always
drip,
dressed.
bro.
Like,
yeah,
always.
the
Trevor
steady
has that
drip.
drip.
He's the only one ripped for the occasion.
This is Trevor's drip. He
Deep
walks
cake.
up and you're like, okay, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. He's either going to shake my hand or beat my fucking ass. Like, what is happening?
And it's
He
funny-
just lifted 500,000 pounds in front of me.
It's funny
Perfect
'cause
form.
Trevor's
Okay.
also the youngest, but probably the most put together as
Yeah,
well.
Trevor's the baby, but he
Let's
has
be
his shit
real.
together like none other. It's wild.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's-
it's true.
Now we're all saying nice things about Trevor. Snaps for Trevor.
Do I need to go to the bathroom real
Snaps.
quick?
Do I need to go to the bathroom
No.
real quick?
Maybe.
So,
We need to make sure with Trevor though that we keep the beefcake thing going with Trevor.
Beefcake.
Like, you know.
But see,
So
now
everybody-
I'm also like,
What was
I'm a
it?
captain. of
Baby
a ship
cake.
now.
Oh, what was it? What was?
Pirate.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah.
Big baby.
not just the southern seas, but the entire ocean.
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
So, like, I'm just gonna straight up ask, who gets in the most trouble in the band? If there was a Controvert yearbook, who would get in the most trouble? Who's voted most trouble?
Chris.
I'm about to say probably
Who's,
Chris.
who's the
Probably
most?
Chris.
Who's the most responsible? I would say Tim.
I would probably go with Tim as well.
Who's the
Yep.
the class clown? Ben.
I feel like I share that with Chris as well.
I was gonna say Chris is an arguable.
Yeah.
person for that.
I don't know. I feel like Brandon. I feel like you're the one that's just like, hey guys, there's snacks and social banter. That's all very cute, but we do have practice.
Yes.
Let's fucking go. And then
Brandon
practice
is
over,
very
and he's
much
like,
to the point.
yes, Brandon's very like time diligent. And then, oh man, what's Trevor?
Trevor's just happy to be
Just
here.
happy to be here.
Yeah, he really
Trevor's
is.
just Trevor's the kind that's like just chill, and then as soon as the guitar's, whoa, then it's just all, ooh.
Yeah,
It's fucking business.
it really is.
He's like an audible Hulk.
Yes, exactly.
Hi.
Sound like the opening of Angel of Death.
Wow, that is the most accurate
You know what I
description
mean?
of Trevor I've ever heard.
It's so true.
That is a pretty
Ever.
accurate description of him.
I accept.
I mean, who wouldn't? Especially if you go by like the original. I mean, you're more beefy than the original guy that played the Incredible Hulk.
Lou Ferrigno.
Yep.
He was
Yeah.
ripped, wasn't he?
Yeah, but
He
have you
was
seen
ripped.
Trevor?
Have you
Have
seen
you
him
seen
painted
Cat?
Have you
green?
seen Trevor?
Everybody's Trevor's looking around like, oh god, does this
Have
mean I
you
need to
seen
take my shirt
Trevor's
off?
Instagram?
Okay, here's the thing. Like, yeah, I've seen Trevor in person, but I've seen Lou Ferrigno be huge on TV for years.
Oh shit.
I'm not.
No,
We are gonna have to say nice things about Trevor now.
Shit. Okay.
that's okay.
Ooh.
We're gonna lose Trevor for a second because he has to go move the vehicle.
We hate to see him go,
But he'll be
but we
back.
love to
Oh,
watch
we-
him leave.
Yeah, we
Oh,
love
yeah.
watching him walk away.
Oh, there's butt
Oh!
shot in the
Yeah.
camera.
So now that he's gone, those thighs though, am I right?
The calves, man. The
Not to
calves.
object-
He got no top shelf though. His pockets touch.
No, Trevor's a little baby. I've known Trevor for quite a long time because Ben used to play with Trevor in King's Gambit a long time ago.
Yeah.
And when I first
here.
met Trevor, Trevor was just literally the sweetest little babe. Like, he's just so nice to everybody
Oh
and
yeah.
so considerate.
Well,
You know
and-
what I mean?
And he was one of my first, like, before Tim came in on guitar first, like, Trevor was one of my first choices for guitar. Like, when I started the band, of, like, who could, like, do it, but, like, I didn't know where he was. I mean, he was still in college,
Yeah.
you know, so he didn't really have the time.
You and I both were
So,
like bugging
yeah,
him
so,
on,
like,
on the
when-
regular, like, come on, man, when are you gonna come out and jam?
Yeah,
When are you
so,
come out
like,
and jam?
fast
Come on, let's
forward
go.
to, like, what, a month and a half ago now? Like, 2 months
Yep,
ago?
he was just in town.
Yeah,
and
and it was just like we were having some issues internally, and he was just like, if I could have a piece of it, I would love it. I'm just like, okay, well then. This is
Broke
what
him
we're
off a
gonna
little
do.
Well, we
chunk.
were
Here
doing-
you go.
we were over on the west side, and he was doing a shoot with me, and it was very last minute, and we were just cooling, getting ready to leave, and I said, you ought to come by the studio sometime for Controvert practice and say hey. And he was just like, oh yeah? And then we just got to talking, and he was like, oh yeah? And I was like, you want to just come over now? Because everybody's pretty much there.
Yeah.
And he just rolled over and like a surprise, mainly a surprise for Ben, because they hadn't seen each other for a long time. And he just came walking in, and it just clicked from there.
Well, yeah, and then the whole me bass.
Oh, Tim was like, I see a pocket for me to slide in.
And it
I don't know where I
worked.
went with that, but it went. So,
It
really
went.
well.
yeah.
Well, then like the first time he came out and jammed with us, it was like fucking butter.
It was like he had been
Like,
playing this shit for
yeah.
years.
And there was only one song that he didn't know. He took a day off, and then we got back together again the second time, and he already had.
That fucking part in King
Yeah,
Me,
he had
that was
everything
like
down.
That asshole.
Dude, that
Gets
fucked
him
with all of
salty.
us, bro. I'm not
Tim
even.
still struggles with that
Everybody
riff.
had their
For
little
real.
hurdle with King Me.
King Me is just on a different level, man.
It really is, but that's because my internal metronome is it is existent, but it's really fucked.
Let's face it, the
So-
real reason is because you spent too much time working with Anthony Sellers.
That is very accurate. Yes, very accurate.
The proper term here is that he writes to a pulse that is isochronous, an isochronous pulse, which is
No, it's true in a sense though, but it's a good thing. I think
Oh yeah.
Benny and I both talked about that, and even working with him in Gambit now, like that the nice thing about it was pulling me, I can say, out of like this typical structure. And
Oh,
like
yeah.
playing with weird timings and like not staying perfectly on
Yeah,
a,
kind of
on a-
encouraging you to go off the rails
Exactly,
a bit,
and-
explore some
and,
new territory.
you know, so I joke picking on him, but it also was a good thing for me, and you've said the same
Oh,
thing.
dude, he
Oh,
woke me
yeah.
right
Yeah.
the fuck up with that shit. When I came into that trying to learn their
Make sure you
guitar,
strike a pose right in front of
Oh,
the camera.
man.
Real quick. There's a pretty boy here.
Oh, so now
Jesus,
Oh,
so, like,
now
Are we going
we
in
gotta
shifts?
say nice shit about Tim. I
Are we
see
going
what's
in
happening.
shifts
Okay,
I
so
don't
now
have
this is
anything
this is
to
gonna be
say.
the new thing now when we have bands to see like who's gonna be the band who has the most people get up and leave in the middle
so
of the podcast.
far we are winning.
Yes, you are.
well, as
And
soon
I
as Tim
feel-
gets back, I'm next. I've been holding the piss
I
for the
was gonna
past
say,
15
man, I
minutes,
just took
bro.
the best piss.
To brag a little
See,
bit.
Yeah.
It's okay though. It's real. We're humans.
It's
We
genuine.
all
That's how
have
you know
body
what's up right
functions.
here. Like, we got to take a piss break.
Well, and like most people, like another little behind the scenes thing with the way we do this podcast, like these sessions, like that we talk with everybody, the actual podcast is like right after the bands get done playing.
Yeah.
So it's like the
I'm
bands,
still sweaty.
the
Like,
bands are up there. They come in, they set everything up, we test everything, we get it going, we run through the set, and then it's like, okay, let's get the couches set up and let's go. And so it's
Yeah.
like a lot of times,
Well,
the
then
bands don't always have
as
a lot of
everybody
time.
knows, me. Not only was I in the band today, I'm also usually a host as well. So today it's like, oh, I got to make sure all this shit's done, and I got to do this shit too. So it's
doubled
like,
up.
But you didn't have to host at least because you
No.
tapped in
Yes,
your girl.
yes, which is definitely a plus.
Yeah, like I just walked into a just fully made breakfast,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how we do things. It's the
Yeah, you get it.
Controvert breakfast.
and I didn't eat
all-
any of it
Because you only eat at a very specific time, 3 in the morning, right?
2:47.
2:47. That's right.
On the
247.
You
dot.
can- yep. On
He
the
is
dot
very
at the
on the
drop
dot.
top,
So I
cruising
believe
the street.
it.
No, but that's definitely, and like as somebody who, because like yeah, this is very like new for me. This isn't something that I do often, but like I'm always down to jump in and help. Predominantly, my role, aside from other half, and like just being dudes and duders, is like I shoot visuals for Controvert, and I've been around literally since day one, since the very first practice in the green
Or the
room.
very
Hashtag
first
Black Patch
conversation that me and Chris
Photography.
had.
The very first conversation, like I was there when it smelled like men BO for a very long time. And like one thing that I really appreciate is, yeah, like Ben said, when you have a unit that starts out like a family and people come and go and interchange, like there has been people that have come and left the band that we don't really talk to anymore, and there's people that have come and left the band that will always be friends of ours. People like DJ especially. But with this lineup, something I really like is it is very family oriented. So like
Very
Trevor
much
said,
so.
he walked in this morning and us girls had literally made breakfast. When Jess and Chris host, we all sleep in, they make breakfast. You wake up, there's always breakfast. Coffee, when one of us eats, we all eat.
Or like with the couple times we stayed at Tim's.
Yep,
Tim
and Katie host,
Yeah.
and they, make breakfast. And when we're, and it's just very much like if you don't have it and one of us does, we all take care of it.
Well, and I can say even coming from the outside of even that, because it's like, I mean, obviously now we have Benny, helping us with Eros as well, but like Eros and Controvert pretty much from the beginning have been kind of like sister bands too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we, and not just because Benny and I are actual family, but because we all became really close with everybody anyways.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
and it's like, I've worked with Trevor before. Like Trevor and I go way back. I've known Brandon for many years. Like,
Over a
so it's like
decade.
it's this big family
Yeah.
of people that we
it
all
really
kind of
is.
we
Especially
all
since we share the same practice space too.
That
yeah
is
yeah
true.
we've been
Which is actually here.
yeah we've been practicing. Like we both bands use this place as
Well,
our
in
rehearsal
in the
studio
gear,
as well.
let's be real, The bass rig we use is Finney's. The drum set we use is Finney's. We share cables. We share
Big ups to
wireless.
Finney.
Cabs,
We share cabs. We share
amps
heads.
sometimes.
Like the
All
head,
right,
the,
it's
and the
my
head,
turn
the
to
cab
leave
I
now.
use is
All
our
right,
vocalist
okay.
Chris.
You come back with another beer?
So how many of those are left?
Beer mimosas.
Yeah, I think they're probably gone.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I don't
But
know.
yeah, definitely very much a family style, and
Well, that's I mean, that's the thing I
It-
was getting to is
yeah.
that it's the Controvert family spreads beyond even just
Oh yeah.
the group. Like it's all of your significant others, and then
yeah.
beyond that, it's the other bands that have become like family.
Yeah.
One of the
Oh,
big
yeah,
things
they're-
I've learned like since coming into this is it is so much more than us.
Oh
This
yeah.
band. It's so much more.
yep.
And I've never really experienced anything like that, and it's a really beautiful thing.
There are other bands in other regions that are very much part of the Controvert family. Lot is part of the Controvert family, and we love them very much. Lenore has become. I'm not gonna look at you. We're gonna cry. I'm not gonna go into Lenore. The Lenore boys are very precious to us. Alex, who is a part of the Lenore family, who's also part of the Controvert family, where the boys are playing his birthday show. Like, there's a reason they were asked to play. Alex is definitely a part of the family. And so you go to all these different places, and we travel. Q from Ohio, he's
Q,
hosted
yeah.
us. He's hosted us in his home. We go to all these different places, and these bands, like with Lenore, David Seigan hosts us. And they feed you, and they, hey, if you need to use the shower. And it seems so basic, but those things are, taken for granted a lot. Like when you're touring, or when you're just traveling to a different city, sometimes most people would be like, screw you, bro, y'all can sleep in your car. But like in our scene, everybody is treated, very much like that.
Oh,
And when you
yeah.
make those connections with other bands, it just gets stronger all the time.
That's-
So
I was gonna say that's one of the things that I've been the most proud of. I think in this modern movement that's starting to happen here in Indiana, especially with all these bands. Like there seems to be a lot more of a push for the family, for the unit, for the
Oh yeah.
the community. Like between you're having bands from the Lafayette area, and then Fort Wayne and Indianapolis and Marion and Muncie, and everybody's all kind of getting together and creating this
Okay.
big
Well, and
overall
it's
family.
Crazy you say that because like.
And
coming-
Controvert's like literally the
coming-
epitome of that
it-
now.
it really
I mean, you guys
is.
are literally coming from all across the state now.
Well, and
Like
it's- yeah, it's
Controvert can't
crazy
say, "Oh, we're
because-
just from here now." Like you guys are just an Indiana
We're in
band.
4 different counties.
Yeah, and like my background, like I never played outside of this area up until I started Controvert, really. So like our first couple shows weren't even here. We didn't even play Lafayette until almost a year
Yeah.
of us being together. I refused. It's not that I couldn't, I just didn't want to because I wanted to break out, and I wanted to break out for a reason. Because I wanted to get out to other places to be able to bring that back here to try to like diversify everything and like start a family. And then like with meeting people like Tyler Bennett and then getting in with that crowd, and like even with Chris, when I started this, I had this whole other area that I had never been to. And then when I started making connections, it was like, oh, well, I could bring this here and I could bring this here. So like, not to say Controvert's like the main thing, because other people were trying to do the same thing. I just got lucky enough to meet up with these people and basically start a statewide family to where we can go anywhere, and any of these other bands can go to all of these other places and have a fan group, which is great. Like
yeah.
bringing especially heavy music back to this area again, because especially here it was
It's very
dead
much
for a
dead.
while.
Yeah.
And it's starting to pick back up. Of course, obviously COVID has killed a lot of that, but I still have faith that when everything
Oh, and there's still
ends-
people. I mean, the fans and the family like are still like
Yeah.
chomping at the bit right now, like waiting for it to be able to
Oh, yeah.
go back to doing these shows again and be
Yeah.
doing these
With
things.
a lot
like,
of stuff in Lafayette in this area, a lot of it is, projects that we easily could, kind of fall into where like, we just do it from our county and not play together, not get together.
Yeah.
There's groups that are doing international collaborations here
Yeah.
in town, but like you just don't get to see them because they don't have,
Right.
Yeah.
everything, a lot of stuff, going on with Middleman Records, right here, but it's everywhere.
yeah.
I think that one thing that gets overlooked a lot by a lot of people is everybody was new in the scene at one point. I've only been a part of this scene for 4.5, 5 years now, so I'm still very new. But you always have kids that are coming out to shows and they're always watching and they're always listening. And like it's always important to remember that like you were that person at one point. And there's always new faces coming in, and they're going to be the next generation that could potentially be the next Controverts or the next Lot Lizards or the next band that wants to genuinely put things out there that makes people feel something. And so something that I feel like a lot of people don't think about is you see these bands that play and your favorite locals, you have to remember behind the scenes, like they're also forming bonds with each other and friendships with each other to continue pushing that message forward. That's what the bigger picture is about. Which leads me to something else that I am curious about. You guys had done an interview, I want to say, within the first year of Controvert, with the original lineup, where you were asked a question about like, what is your mission statement? What do you guys represent? How has that changed? And what do you guys want people to remember you as a band with this lineup? I'd like to know, because it's been a couple years since that was asked.
This is Controvert.
See, I'll start this, and then we can kind of go down by who's been in the band. So me, and then Tim, and then go down the couch. For me, my vision's not changed at all. I mean, you break it down by the name of the band. Controvert is to argue against, in layman's terms, basically. That's a pretty broad spectrum of things you could do with that. Now, when you take that and you look at it, a lot of people would be like, individually, like, oh, like, it's Controvert, you know what I mean? But it's like, the way I looked at it is we are all Controvert, it's not just one individual. It's not even just us. I've always said that, like, everybody in the band's replaceable. As long as the band continues to go and grow, that's all I want, even if that means I step down at some point.
Or if
You know
I
what I mean?
die.
Or if
Tommy
he
Reynolds
died.
plays
Hey,
bass.
Fuck you.
Did he really just say Tommy Reynolds?
Yeah, he really
Tommy
did.
Brandon.
But
Did you hear that?
I heard it.
for me, like,
Disrespect.
it really
had
is.
the name drop in there.
It really is just about like using this as a voice for all of us and even other people to just try to change things. You know what I mean? Be real, or like Chris has said in the past, like bringing up the deepest, darkest shit that nobody else wants to talk about. And that's like my vision, not like my words, but like when he said that, I think it was in an interview.
That's the interview I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah, and like hearing him go in about it, it was like, yep, that's what it is. So like everybody else that I've brought in or Chris has brought in, I feel like has known that from the beginning. So I mean, obviously they may have a different interpretation of it, but I don't know. I mean, that's me. So I don't know, Tim.
Whew. For me, it's a can of worms because there's a complete ideology behind it, and I'll just try to say all of it as quickly and as coherently as possible. So like, there is musically the musicality of it. We talk about like playing stuff where they're in odd time signatures, and we could say like, oh yeah, we really like the metalcore of the '90s where it was really crazy. But like, if you don't understand what they're playing, you're just gonna try to, you're end up just like replaying. And so one thing that we've really done is like going through and with these songs, transcribing it, like I said, like being able to sit down and actually come up with like these like different music theories for the way some of the harmonies are written and for how some of the movements and motifs are. But when you think about it, it's very conflicting to take something that sounds so disorganized and then finally someone has a way to count it. There is like a written way of it. So like it's almost like this like contradiction of pre-planned jazz hardcore type of writing and composition. But it also reflects, for me, because of talking about the deepest, darkest places and like really being able to have that place to speak out. Like, I think that that's kind of something that the hardcore scene has like mislabeled by saying they wanted a safe space. We don't want a safe space, like meaning we don't want to get punched in the head during like the heaviest part. We mean that we want to have a place where like ideas can be shared and things can be talked about. So where we could say that Christianity is no longer the religion of the oppressed, but the religion of the oppressor. I can express my apostasy and my distaste for that faith because I was part of it, and I'm, for lack of better terms, I'm a survivor of that kind of abuse in those areas.
Same.
And so, and like
Absolutely.
even with this skirt, part of what was going on in the 60s at Stonewall was, that you had to have, like, you couldn't have more than 3 articles of clothing that were questionable for your gender in the 60s in New York. So if you dressed just feminine enough, you could be arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's a time and a place to be able to say, fuck enough. Like, let's talk it out. Let's fucking swing it out. This is the place for, like, not a safe place because, like, we're pampered fucking assholes. But, like, this is, like, our headquarters. This is where we come to get recharged and go back out and be who we want to be amongst ourselves and others.
Fuck yeah. I love that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Brenda's like, I'm just here to rock.
Honestly, what I get out of it more so than anything, I have an issue suppressing a lot of emotion. It's something I've worked on, but I found that the best way for me to get that out is beating the shit out of some drums, dude. And I stand for everything the band stands for. In a way, it makes me feel like we as a collective stand in solidarity with things like Black Lives Matter, the ongoing
Absolutely.
issues in this world. That's just what Controvert is about. You know what I mean? We're on the forefront of that, and we push that message, and we try to make sure it comes across heard by the end of a set with us. It's a very passionate thing.
That's
Absolutely.
why also Controvert, it's less necessarily about the riffs for me and more about the show. Not saying that I write shitty riffs or want shitty riffs, but it comes down to that. You get in people's face and then they hear the message and they see what we're about, and we can push things and people watch and listen.
Absolutely.
And it's never about hate or,
No.
like, we want you to beat the shit out of people because we get off on that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's cool. That's just people enjoying themselves. That's
Yeah.
them. That's like me playing the drums, letting off my steam. That's
It's
them.
your outlet.
Yeah, exactly. They
Mhm.
come to a show, they feel that shit, they hear the message, and then they want to fucking throw down. They want to
Yep.
get all that shit out. They have all that pent up energy and all this hate from everything going on around them. It creates a safe space in a way.
Yeah.
Like Tim was saying, like, you can come here, unleash, enjoy yourself, and we'll have you out every time.
Yeah.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? You'll be welcomed with open arms. There's no sort of like diversification or any sort of like odd man out. Everybody's welcome.
Right.
When there's that thing of if you get knocked down, there's always somebody there to pick you back up.
Exactly.
And that's both
Shit.
literally and figuratively.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, like that leads right into what I want to say perfectly because I just want to spread happiness and positivity. So being able to if that means letting people bash their fucking heads in to some sick riff that Benny wrote or some insane fill that Brandon does, so be it. Like, it is a way for people to forget about all the bad shit that they're going through and to just live in the moment and be happy. So
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
that's something that I love about it. I love seeing people do that.
Oh yeah,
So
110%.
Hell
you
yeah.
you can see
Absolutely.
someone in the crowd when they're letting loose, like you can see the happiness in their face,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can see
Oh,
that
yeah.
they forget about everything they
And you
have
can
going
always
on.
tell the difference
It's like an
between
ebb and flow of energy between the crowd and the band.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Everything's an energy exchange. Absolutely. They're giving you that energy that you're giving them, and it's a constant ebb and flow.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a safe place regarding physical form.
Well, that's what I was
We
gonna
throw
say.
trash cans like beach balls.
I was gonna say, I mean, but that's the thing though, is that you can even tell though within that group, those that are letting it out in the right way,
It's an
and those that are
emotional
being
safe place.
the assholes.
yeah.
And what
encouraged.
usually ends up happening is the group that are doing it the right surround the asshole and remove them.
Yes.
Like,
Oh yeah.
so I mean, and I've watched it many times
Yeah.
happen. You know, it's like you get a pit going, people are having a great time, and you get that one douchebag that wants to try to actually start some shit, and then you watch everybody kind of surround him and then just mosh their ass right out the fucking building.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Like,
I think one of my favorite things I've seen for that was we were at a show And so this is years ago, but there was a pop band. Their merch guy, like all of us came from like hardcore scene. Like a lot of like the Let's Get It dudes were in hardcore bands. So it's a pop band playing, mostly metalcore fest like you did in the late aughts. And I see this dude from, shaved head, shark tattoo on the side of his head. And he comes up to this merch table. He's like, "Hey, can you grab me my white shirt?" And he's like, You're already wearing a white shirt." He goes, "Yeah, I know, but I don't want to get blood on this one." I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" Grabs the white shirt, and there was a guy that had been like just fucking with people. So he walks out, and while the dude is getting ready to fuck with someone else, he wraps the shirt around his neck, pulls him back to his like chest, and he's like, "Knock it the fuck off!"
Shit.
Man.
Damn.
God, that's some shit.
And we've got some big dudes in this current scene too that aren't afraid to just like pick a dude up and walk them out the building.
Oh
Like-
yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely all different variations of people in this scene. There are people absolutely that will pick a grown man up and walk him out over their shoulder.
There's also people that'll just lay the fucker out too.
And then there's
Yeah.
people like Joey Kaufman who make it a point in every single one of his sets to describe in very great detail his exact automobile so that you can meet him outside for him to beat your ass if you put your hands on a woman or a man at a hardcore show. Which that's something that I've always admired. You go to a lot show, you're going to hear that. And like we
Yeah.
always get, Joey always is like, everybody gives me shit about my speech. Like, and it's not because we feel that it's a speech or that it's rehearsed. It's because we know he fucking means business. I'm not gonna go into the story, but I was personally treated a certain way at a lot show when they had me out to film, and I just mentioned to Joey when I was saying goodbye the description of the person because his significant other at the time was there, and I wanted him to be aware that that type of person was in the crowd, and he just straight up took that dude outside. And him and Adam and everybody else handled it. There was no violence, but he handled that shit very quickly.
Yeah.
So, like, that's just another example of, like, that's the type of bands when you come into this scene that you're going to be greeted with. We
Yeah.
don't tolerate racism. We don't tolerate homophobia. We don't tolerate any of that shit.
It's all love.
And if it's going to
Yeah.
happen,
All
it's
love.
going to get shut down. It doesn't even need to be a big, huge fucking, pissing contest fight. It's just going to
No.
get shut down.
Which ultimately, in the end, I think kind of goes back to like what the basic embodiment of Controvert is.
Yeah.
Like,
Repel
that's why
against
I
that
feel
shit,
like
yep.
you guys are that the kind of epitome of what the whole scene is trying to do. Like
Yeah.
you're that in one band. Like,
We want to be a vessel for that ideology.
but
Well,
You have to be.
With all of this in mind, obviously, thank you for coming out and hanging out with
Yeah.
all of us today.
and
Of course.
obviously, I mean, there's no secret. I mean, we're all close. We're all good friends. Like, so I mean, it may come across a little bit like favoritism a little bit, but it's kind of hard not to because we're all family here.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Like,
true.
so it's like,
Other than us, we hate you.
Yeah.
in fact, I'm kind of upset that they put us this close together.
Well,
But
none of them wanted to sit next to you, so I had to take one for the
Yeah,
team.
anyways,
I sure as hell don't want to sit next to him. So
Don't blame you.
no, but I mean, there's a lot of love in this room between all of us.
Yeah.
And the scene and everything. And I'm so glad that we finally got around to getting a chance to get you guys in. And I think it's awesome that we were able to get the band in this
Oh,
Lineup.
yeah.
lineup.
It's perfect.
agree.
Like it,
It's
the
come a
timing
long
is
way.
perfect.
It
The timing's
has.
perfect. The lineup's perfect. It works because I mean, this has been. I mean, honestly, Controvert coming on here has been on our list of bands
For
to
a
come
year,
in literally
at
from
least.
day one of us doing this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yep.
yeah,
And it's taken now. We're into season 2. Like it's taken well over a year for us
Yep.
to do it. But I feel like it worked out perfectly.
Good
the timing's
timing.
perfect. Like
it wouldn't have been
everybody's-
the same if we would have done it before. Like, I know I can speak for everyone. I don't want this lineup to change at all. So like,
I think you guys have finally found your home
yeah.
with your lineup.
So as
For
far
sure.
as I'm concerned, nothing's gonna change.
Yep. Just going to go
'cause-
forward.
Yeah. Like,
That makes me excited for the newer music too, because I mean,
Yeah.
as bittersweet as it's going to be playing King Me that set for the last time coming up at Alex's show, I'm excited to see the energy and like what we can
Oh,
make happen with this
yeah.
new stuff that we've been sitting
gonna
on.
be
Just-
After
Unmatched for
witnessing some
sure.
of it myself from behind the scenes, I cannot wait to see what an audience
Oh,
does with it.
man.
I'm excited to work in the studio.
yeah.
Oh, absolutely!
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just got me hyped. I can't help but want to look forward. And focus on that. So it'll be cool. Like
Hell
we'll
yeah.
get these shows done, get to work on possibly a new video coming out soon.
Right on.
So we probably November, December.
I would say definitely. By
Probably
November.
around the time that this is probably going to come out. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, so it'll be
really,
around
yeah.
then. Get a little
Up
taste of what's to
next.
come.
Well, and obviously anybody can listen to your music, find your music on all streaming platforms,
Yep.
Spotify,
Bandcamp.
Apple Music,
Yeah.
Bandcamp, absolutely. And you know, there's some videos up on YouTube as well
Yes,
for
we
Lord
have-
Betrayer, Cursor,
Yes. And
Right?
then some live stuff.
and some live videos, and of course your Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yep,
Facebook.
so-
and Twitter.
Awesome. All right.
Controvert.
Thanks, guys. I think that concludes this episode.
Yes, it does.
Sorry for the minor video errors.
Hey.
We're still a little rusty. Remember, we took quite some time off.
Yeah.
It's all
I
good.
forgot how to reset the DSLR, so. Oh well.
Alright,
All
All right,
right.
thanks, guys.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Fro.
Bye.